You know, the entire game of investing is being completely rewritten by artificial intelligence. So today, we are going to break down the framework for an automated investment engine, one that can find deals in real estate and stocks way faster than any human possibly could. No, seriously, just think about that for a second. What if you could know about a distressed property weeks before it ever hits the market? Or what if you could detect a subtle shift in market sentiment just minutes before a stock price makes a big move? Well, that's not science fiction anymore. It's the new reality of what we call algorithmic alpha. And this table, well, it pretty much says it all. You can see the fundamental shift right here. The old model is totally linear. You want to do more deals? You got to hire more analysts. Simple as that. But the new AI model, it's exponential. It scales with server capacity, not headcount, and it shrinks timelines from weeks down to minutes, or in some cases, even milliseconds. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the new definition of alpha, cover the absolutely critical legal rules you just can't ignore, and then get into the tools of the trade. After that, we'll walk through two real-world playbooks, one for real estate and one for stocks. And finally, we'll see how this whole shebang comes together to create a true self-driving investment firm. Okay, first up, the new alpha game. Look, in today's market, it is not enough to just have access to information anymore. Everyone has access. The real winning edge, the alpha, comes from how fast you can find and act on that information. It is all about velocity. So, what's the fuel for this new engine? It's something called alternative data. And this is not your standard clean quarterly report. Oh no, we are talking about the messy, unstructured, real-time signals that are hidden all over the web. Think of it like a tax delinquency notice filed to the county courthouse, or a simple code violation for tall grass. These are the digital breadcrumbs that lead you to a deal before anyone else even knows it exists. But, and this is a big but, before we build a single thing, we have to talk about the law. Before you write one line of code, you have to understand the legal guardrails. This isn't the Wild West, and trust me, ignoring the rules can have some really, really serious consequences. The big one you need to know about is the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, or the CFAA. This is the main federal anti-hacking law. For years, big companies used it as a weapon to go after data scrapers, basically calling them digital trespassers. But you know what? The entire landscape has shifted dramatically. Thanks to a landmark Supreme Court case, the rule is now a beautifully simple gates up or down test. Here's what it means. If the data is publicly available, meaning the digital gate is up and you don't need a password to see it, then scraping it does not violate the CFAA. This was a massive game-changing win for data accessibility. So what this all comes down to is just being a good citizen of the internet. And that really means three things. 1, don't just hammer a website with a million requests. That's called rate limiting. 2, identify your bot so they know who you are. And 3, respect the robots.txt file. Think of it as the site's house rules for bots. It's all about ethical, responsible scraping. And listen up, because this is important. When it comes to actually reaching out to people, you have to be extremely careful. The FCC has made it crystal clear that AI-generated voices are subject to the TCPA. So if you use an AI agent to cold call cell phones without getting consent first, you could be facing fines of up to $1,500 per call. That can add up to a catastrophic amount of money really, really fast. All right, with that legal framework in mind, let's get to the fun part, building the actual toolkit. These are the core technologies you're going to need to construct your data pipeline and, get past some of the defenses that websites put up. First up, residential proxies. Think of these as a disguise for your bot. They make it look like a regular person browsing from their house, not a server sitting in a giant data center. Second, you'll need headless browsers. These are awesome tools that let your code control a real browser, like Chrome, to click buttons, scroll pages, and handle all the fancy stuff on modern websites. And finally, CAPTCHA solvers. Yep, even those annoying "I'm not a robot" tests can be automated. Now, how do you get all these tools? Well, you've basically got two paths you can take. There's the buy strategy, where you use ready-made platforms like Apify. It's super fast to set up and way cheaper up front, but you do give up some control. Then there's the build strategy. This means hiring developers to build a custom solution from scratch. It's definitely expensive at the start, but you get total control and complete ownership of your entire system. Okay, let's put all this theory into practice with a real-world scenario. Section 4, automating real estate. The goal here is simple. Find those valuable hidden gem off-market properties before they ever get listed for sale. The process is basically a four-step pipeline. First, your bot scrapes public county records, looking for distress signals like tax liens or foreclosures. Second, an AI uses something called optical character recognition, or OCR, to actually read all those scanned documents. Third, you enrich that data, finding owners who have a lot of equity and are probably highly motivated to sell. And finally, an LLM agent takes all that information and automatically drafts a complete investment memo for you. And this right here is just a perfect example of AI's analytical power. Instead of a human analyst just kind of vaguely saying a kitchen looks dated, a computer vision AI can analyze old listing photos and give you a super precise assessment. Condition 6 out of 10, outdated oak cabinets, laminate counters. This leads to a much, much more accurate and instant property valuation. It's a total game changer. Now let's switch gears. The very same principles we just talked about can be applied to the lightning-fast world of the stock market. This section is all about decoding all that market chatter online to predict price moves. So here's the stock trading pipeline. Your system is scraping social media and news just constantly, in real time. Then, a specialized AI model called Finbert reads all of that text and scores the sentiment from negative to positive. A sudden big spike in positive sentiment? That becomes your trading signal, and an AI agent can execute a trade through a brokerage API in milliseconds, long before most human traders have even finished reading the headline. And the best part? You don't have to be some coding genius to do this stuff anymore. Platforms like Composer let you build trading algorithms with a visual editor. It's kind of like stacking Lego blocks. And with a tool like Nexus Trade, you can literally just describe your strategy in plain English and the AI will write the code for you. I mean, the barrier to entry has never, ever been lower. So we've got the tools and we've got the playbooks. The final and most powerful step is tying it all together. This is where we actually build the self-driving investment firm by orchestrating all these different components into one seamless, automated ecosystem. The guiding principle here comes from what the source material calls the Tran philosophy, and it's about so much more than just tools. It's about integrating technology and people to create a kind of self-reinforcing loop that drives costs down and allows for truly exponential scale. And here's exactly how this works in practice, using a tool like Make.com. A scraper finds a lead. That's the trigger. That automatically kicks off the workflow. This system then gets the owner's phone number, pulls the property's market value, and checks the investment criteria. If it's a match, say more than $50K in equity, that lead goes straight into your CRM and an alert gets sent to the team on Slack. The best part? No human ever has to touch it. It's completely automated. You know, it's really important to see this as a journey, not a destination. Right now, we're pretty much in the task automation phase, where we're using AI for specific jobs. We're quickly moving towards process automation, where AI manages entire workflows from end to end. But by 2027 and beyond, the real goal is true agentic autonomy, a digital workforce of autonomous agents creating value for you 24/7. Look, this isn't really a question of if this is going to happen, it's a question of when. The technology is here, the frameworks are here, the self-driving investment firm is coming, one way or another. So the only real question left for you is this: will you be the one building it, or will you be the one competing against it?